Hello, Bible Beers. Welcome to another episode of the Bible Beer Podcast. This is the Lord of Hosts, Caleb Campbell, joined as always by the interrupter, Kyle Vester. How's it going anyways, Kyle? Happy New Year, dipshits. Welcome to 2021. All of our problems are still here.
No.
Oh, fuck 2020. I'm so sick of that phrase. Like, it was the year. We've talked about this, but fuck that.
I heard someone say you're not even going to describe their vision like that anymore. They're so mad.
What do you mean? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
The construction worker joke is, you think 2020 was bad? Now it's 2021 and he's old enough to drink. And we live in Canada and people tell that joke.
Really?
Where the drinking age
doesn't
is
even
19.
make sense. 18. Some places.
18 in Manitoba.
If you're cool, dude.
19 in BC. What's up, Kyle? Happy New Year. How's your...
I think I've made a New Year's resolution. I don't make those.
Oh. So I made one. I don't make those. Go ahead.
No, I don't make them.
I've resolved to stop making resolutions.
I didn't make a resolution, but I did make a gift for all the listeners out there.
What's that?
I finished CanadaComedy.ca.
The website.
Yeah, the fucking upgrade is live.
So we can like...
This is going to be the first episode where when I set it on here, you can actually do it.
Cool.
It's dope. New player, new layout. Looks fucking awesome. All the subscription links, all the fucking Instagram and YouTube links, they're all on the fucking website now.
Nice. And there's other podcasts on there too, isn't there?
Yeah. Right now there's only Have You Met Chad, but there's 4 more coming.
Yeah, we got
Once I have to integrate them though, which is a bunch more work.
We won't get ahead of ourselves in the marketing department, but our funny friends got some podcasts coming out. Yeah, that's coming down the piper. Fucking New Year's Eve was a fucking shit show, wasn't it,
Oh,
Kyle?
god damn it. I might not drink for like a month.
We'll see.
I know, I'm going to. But here's the thing. I am going to drink.
Yeah.
But what I is going to try to do
It's amazing how much you can hate
I'm
yourself
going to turn down
on Sunday morning and be like, it's over. And by Friday, be like, I've been good all week. Like
That's it.
But it's incredible that like I've done it for 10 years now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I sincerely mean it every time. I'm like, this time I'm taking some time off. And then I find myself being like, I really have taken time off. And it's been like 5 days. It's been like Monday to actual Friday, like a full work week. Not even a week. Not even one weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I earned this.
Yeah, I fucking did. What do you mean? I did what almost every other person does without getting shit-faced on the weekend. They also do what I just did, but they don't get blackout.
Yes.
But I earn the right to get blackout.
Yes.
By accomplishing a very menial task.
And hey, what's the point of living if we're not going to have some fun, eh, Kyle?
There's a limit to the fun.
Yeah.
There's an absolute limit. Here's the thing. I get nothing done. Like the last week or 2 weeks, I was pretty much done the website.
Yeah.
I just finished.
You just don't do... Yeah,
I just didn't do it. I was just hungover as fuck.
I know what that's like.
And then you try to learning something new when you're hungover is fucking impossible.
It's... Why even try? Why bother?
I was doing it, but here I just like would zone out and then forget all the like commands I learned in Photoshop and have to rewatch the thing I just learned. It's like going backwards.
I used to say I don't get hangovers. I actually believe that about myself for a long time. And then you take a little bit of time off drinking and you're like, oh, I was just hungover all the time.
Yeah, I drink every day.
It's the worst.
That's why I don't get hungover, because I wake up drunk and I keep going.
No, well, you can't do that. I mean, you can, but that's a different level of that's something else entirely. I
get motivated if I go to the gym. Because you go to the gym hungover, get into a groove where you're forcing yourself to do that, then go to the gym hungover, do a deadlift, and then puke everywhere and see if you want to get shit-faced again that night.
You did not puke in the gym, did you?
I've almost puked and I've almost shit myself. Back when you were allowed to go to the bathroom. Absolutely. Deadlift.
What do you mean you're allowed to go to the bathroom?
You're not allowed to go to the bathroom anymore.
What?
The dressing rooms are closed.
So,
I mean, there's probably some public bathroom, but the regular dressing room...
Yeah, it's closed.
It's closed, so...
That is fucking stupid. Well, we had a time on New Year's, didn't we, Kyle?
Yeah, it was a blast.
So, are we going to talk about it or no?
Yeah.
Your voice is like, it was a blast. And then he looks away.
We rocked up to...
Well, let's set the scene. In our hometown.
We thought we were doing something sneaky. We thought we had planned something sneaky.
Exactly. Yeah. So in our hometown, they are like, it's fucking nobody's doing nothing, and we're making sure of it. Alcohol sales are canceled everywhere at 8 p.m. Stores, bars, fucking.
Like that's a deterrent.
Yeah. So they showed us, and we, like everybody else, found a way around it. I went to our old high school bush party drinking spot, which was
So did everybody else.
it was like the fires of the Israelites in the desert, man. As you drove up, it was just like pepper, like just flames, just like every 100 meters, there's 8 to 20
I'll
people.
explain it a little bit. It's driving up a service road into the forest.
Yeah,
it's a very
forestry
long road, and the road is lined with fire pits.
Yeah.
And they were all lit up to full capacity.
Yeah, like
essentially.
the beacons have been a
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
You could see the one from the next one and follow your way
I was like,
up.
are we trying to signal the cops? I didn't realize there was going to be 30 of us, 30 different groups up there.
On the way up in my car, everybody was like, so like this is the dumbest fucking idea
It
ever,
was
right?
terrible.
Right? Like,
Everyone was wanting to stay. I was like, we got to leave well before 10.
Yeah.
I want to get out of here.
I mean, nobody was drinking and driving in my car. If you didn't
Yeah, but
drink
you're
and
not
drive,
even allowed to be together.
same house, they would check your IDs.
They would check your IDs if they want to be dicks even a little bit,
Yeah. The thing,
which they don't want to.
I don't
get
think
that.
they want to.
Yeah.
Anyways, we had no problems with the police at all.
No, it was-
But we rolled up. I was in one of the first cars. I think I was the first car in there. And we get almost to our designated spot, which is 5 kilometers up a slush road. And there's a truck like almost 90 degrees poking out of a ditch, backed into a ditch. And these girls are waving their phones.
I would love to see how they got to that. Was it a spin out?
Okay, well,
Did she think she was in drive?
dude,
It's wild how far into
okay,
the
this
ditch they
chick,
were.
she was on mushrooms and she was making K jokes all night. I think she was on K, but she didn't say she was on K.
Okay.
She
that a
said
good
she kept saying her
combination?
truck K-hold, and it was hilarious.
The girl that was
And
driving it wasn't her truck, right?
I don't know whose truck
Because
it
one
was.
of them was really mad at the other girl.
No, no, it was Kaylee's truck.
I don't know their names.
Yeah, whoever is,
Mm-hmm.
it's whatever. I don't know. I couldn't identify him in a lineup. It's Kaylee's truck and the other Amber chick,
Mm-hmm.
and they fucking backed into this thing, and they were having a full-on domestic when we rolled up. The one girl's trying to wave us down. The other girl's just like crying with her dog. And she's like, hey, we're in a bit of a pickle, like, dur. And we're like, we'll see what we can do. And we're like, yeah, I don't know if we could tow you out, but we'll, do what we can do. And she's like, oh, like, we got this fire pit. And we're like, okay. So we started, like, setting up there. We tried to calm this girl down who's crying. My favorite part.
I missed all this. I showed up way after.
Oh, dude, my favorite part. Okay, so they're like screaming at each other. You fucking bitch! I know this. This happens every time. This is so like you.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
so like you to do K and mushrooms and try to drive a car up a steep cliff
Yeah.
full of ice.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're both a problem, to be
Oh,
honest.
they were. I mean, the chick whose car it was who actually crashed. She was just like, I refuse to let this ruin my night. She was fun. She was actually like.
She was fun until the
making jokes.
end when she hated your guts. We can
Oh.
tease that. That they did, in fact, as Caleb's talking about them like they're his new best friends, they, in fact, hate him.
They don't like me. They don't
Yeah.
like me at all.
No.
So, I
They
tried
liked
to
you at the
calm them
beginning.
down.
When I got there,
I
they
gave
were,
her a
like,
joint.
all
Like,
into you.
they were cool. We were cool. They would like invite us over, and then one by one, like our friends show up, and we got like 30 friends. I had like 5 friends, and everybody had like there was so many friends of friends there. I only knew like half the people there.
I
Anyways,
somehow knew everybody
well, there's the comics.
because I knew all your friends. And then
Okay.
I knew all the peripheral ones.
I didn't know any of like.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, this party's starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and like the fire's getting bigger and bigger, and they're kind of like getting like the one chick's just trying to like keep to herself. It was the funniest thing. So the music, we're trying to find our stereo to put some music on.
Mhm.
It's because I was like, Mariah Carey's blasting from the campsite next to us. I was like, oh yeah, that fucking blows. And she's like, that would be something I would play. And then Eli says, I got bad news for you. We're gonna be listening to heavy metal all night. And the chick that was crying just started bawling again, just like that sad cry.
That's
was-
insane.
I never laughed.
Is
so
that the
hard.
mushrooms?
I don't know. I don't think they were both on mushrooms because the
Oh,
one
I didn't know what
crying
was going on.
didn't seem very fucked up at all. She just
She's
seemed
just a
pissed off.
lunatic.
Well, who knows what was going on? They were trying to sleep in that car. So the car's like 90 degrees backed into a ditch, right? It
Yeah.
was steep in there,
Mhm.
and they had the trunk open because they were trying to get their stuff out, and it's like tumbled
It
out.
was
onto the
literally
snow.
70 degrees.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
insane. And their plan was to sleep in there up
That was
there
impossible.
night.
Literally impossible.
And
You'd roll out or slide out. There's no way you were sleeping in there.
Oh yeah, they couldn't.
Someone would have to close the hatch and they would have to just pile up at the bottom.
So she had BCAA. By the way, I'm kind of like I'm not helping, as in I don't have a car, but I'm trying to like talk to people who have like Dan's getting a tow rope. We're talking to who's got the best truck for towing.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
trying to be the liaison between these two, like the girls and whoever. And at first, and then she kept like forgetting who I was. She's like, "Who are you? How do you know my name?" And I was like, "I'm Caleb. I met you like 5 minutes ago. We shared a joint. Like, you know me. Like we were laughing and like that happened 5 times. That's why I think she was on K.
Yeah,
And
for
she
sure.
said her truck K-hold, which was the funniest shit I ever heard. And I put those two together.
That makes sense.
And I don't think she would admit that to everybody. And she was slurring, but she wasn't drunk.
Oh, that makes so much sense because I met that girl like 4 times, and each time she acted like she didn't know me.
Yeah. That's what happened.
It was very bizarre. So it was like one of
Also,
those things you start talking.
it was
'cause she's
dark.
just around. Fair enough. But I'm pretty loud, and I think
Yeah.
you could probably identify me.
Yeah.
You'd start talking, and then it was like that 30 seconds of talking to someone for the first time, then it's fun.
Yeah.
That happened like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. So eventually I found out she's got BCAA.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, you got BCAA? That's great. Call them and we'll stop doing this. And that's their job and you've got it paid for already. So like win-win." She calls BCAA and of course they don't work New Year's. It's like,
There's no way that's true.
whatever
They
that
told her they didn't work till the 4th.
whatever. Yeah.
Of
I
January.
think she was making no sense on the phone.
That's what I think.
and they just
Yeah.
abandoned her or like you're drunk lady or something. But so BCAA isn't coming and we kind of like assess the situation and say it looks hopeless. So now
I like how delicately you said that. As delicately as he imagined that was happening in his head is how he imagined the last podcast went before he listened to it again.
No. I know how it ended. No, that's
Okay, you're acting like you assessed the situation, but really, you guys collectively.
no.
Just
I was getting there, Kyle. That's how you. This is how you tell a story.
Is
you
it?
fucking start. Yeah.
Is it you
Yes.
delicately assess the situation, and then
I was
proceeded to scream, "Never gonna happen!
Yeah.
Quit trying!"
No, wait. Fuck you, Kyle. You fucking step on the whole fucking thing. That's not how it went. So yes, I said it wasn't gonna happen. Then they're helping, and then I was talking with fucking whoever, Dan and whoever, and I'm like, I don't think that's coming out. They're like, I don't know, they're gonna try, and I was like, well, I bet you it won't. And that's when. So then when I had stake in it not going, that's when my demeanor shifted from helpful to full on. I'm getting in the way of this.
I was there for that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I got there, and that happened within 5 minutes of me getting there.
Oh, dude, for like 45 minutes, I was like walking around, like helping her on the phone. I got her keys out for her. I found her fucking phone under
I
a
saw
foot
that.
of snow.
When I got there, you just saw.
I was like on my hands. I was helpful for a while.
Mm-hmm.
She had her keys stuck in. Of course, it was in drive still. She couldn't get the keys out. The lights were on for like half an hour. Like me and Maria went in there. I held the door, which is like it's so heavy because it's at 70-degree angle. I was like, "Watch out, this is gonna slam." She's like, "Yeah," and it went right by her head because she was like, because the way the door swung.
That girl was standing right by the toe strap.
Yeah.
When they were pulling it out.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What? If that thing snaps,
Yeah,
which I've seen it snap all the time,
It did snap. The first change they used snapped, and
Get
I was
outta
like,
here. She's
"Yes!"
standing right
And I
there.
was cheering, and everybody was like, "Who's this fucking asshole?" And I was like, "They
And
don't."
by the way, during the Caleb cheers, I think
those are taunts and jeers. Those aren't
okay,
cheers.
fine. What I don't know if most of the camp knew this, but I bet Caleb that if they get out, he has to piss in his own face.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the stakes.
That was my.
That's why I'm such an asshole. I watched the video though, dude.
Yeah.
I watched Virgil's video, and I was oof. I was a bit obnoxious there.
Oh yeah. Oh, big time.
Oh, I was like, oh, I
didn't know Verge had a video.
I feel okay because I'm like, I'll never see those people again, and they'll just be like,
She wouldn't remember you anyways.
And dude, I kept telling that chick when I was trying to make her feel better. I was like, it's the storybook ending to 2020. Your car 90 degrees in a fucking ditch. Like this is it. This is how you end the year.
That's what she wants to hear. Hopelessness.
And then, but she laughed. And yeah, long story short, they ended up getting the fucking truck out.
Well, they had one guy.
They had three.
Two dudes
They had
in
like-
one big white truck.
They had
ended
like
up
a
hooking a
caboose.
Jeep to it.
They
To
had
the
three
truck.
fucking trucks
Yeah.
and shovels and I think they
These
heard
dudes
me
are trying to get their dicks sunk.
and
dude.
they heard. I think I like helped in the opposite direction. They're like, "Fuck that guy." I'm getting this truck
those
out.
dudes hated you. I saw it on their face.
Oh, Maria came up and said,
Did you hear what they yelled when they were driving by?
No. What'd they say?
When they drove away, I can't remember exactly what they said, but they're screaming at you. How about that, you fucking retard, or something like that. Yeah.
Man, if they would have known the whole story, I feel like, hey, and at least if like they don't even know about this, but the poetic justice is I did have to piss in my own face.
Oh, they do know it.
Oh, they know that?
saw.
They saw?
You stood in the middle of everybody.
Yeah. Well, I had to, right?
Yeah, that's actually what the guy yelled from the truck. He's like, way to piss in your own face, you fucking retard, or something like that.
He thought I did it by accident?
No, he knew you did on purpose.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
I mean, you couldn't be mistaken. You were standing there, obviously pissing.
Well, that's how you do it. You walk away, you start, and then you turn around while it's going on, and then you spit it in the air like Triple H.
That's how you do
Chris
it.
Jericho, whatever the fuck.
And everyone, that's how you piss in your own face.
That's how you do it. All
As
right.
if there's no other way.
And I think that's enough backstory, isn't there, Kyle? Do you remember what we read about last week? Do you have anything more to add? I was just gonna hard transition.
Hard
into
transition
the
for
Bible.
pissing your own face. Oh, at the end when those girls, since we were all yelling and cheering, we were cheering positively when they got it out.
Yeah,
most of us, because you were yelling and we got to see you piss in your face.
You.
So we were all genuinely cheering, and they were kind of like they were freaked out probably from being on drugs before and all those new people, whatever in general. But then like you were there, and so they were just so mad. But they had gotten out.
Didn't we? I left like right after that.
Yeah. So we were getting our stuff and leaving, and I like chatted. She was like a little bit mad taking her stuff, and she's like, "That guy's a dick." I was like, "On the plus side, though, I'm the one that made him piss in his face."
Oh, cool, Kyle.
Yeah.
You're not the one.
I know, but I took
I'm
credit.
the one that fucking pissed in my own face. Fuck you.
But I made you, and I took credit.
No, you didn't.
Yep.
You didn't make me. You weren't even there when I fucking said I would do a bubbler if that.
No, I'm the one that brought it up.
Maybe you did. Fuck
Yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
So I did it, and I told her and took full
responsibility.
Not responsibility.
Yeah, you took responsibility.
What's the word I'm looking for here?
Stolen valor.
Yeah, there we go. I stole all the valor, and just to get this girl that I was leaving in 5 seconds to like me better than you, and that's what it is.
And did you get her number? I got her number.
Oh no, she tried to get me to stay. That girl was a fucking wacko, dude.
Yeah, they were out of their minds.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't get her number, by the way. I got her number because I dialed her phone to look for it.
Oh, even creepier way.
No,
Nice.
I just.
Oh, by the way, Camilla's brother, if you're listening, sup? He
Sup.
didn't get her number.
Oh, we have a shout out.
Just for a joke.
We have a shout out to Richard Belton. Fucking.
Dick?
Hope your fucking knee gets
Dick
better.
Belt?
Dick Belt. Hope your knee gets better, bud. I listened to your Fizzy Water song. Pretty not bad. I'm a Sodi streamer myself. Maybe we. Never mind. Moving on.
And moving on.
Do you remember what we read about last week, Kyle?
No, it was hard to decipher really what you were saying last week, but I think something about bees.
Nah, that wasn't in the Bible.
Right.
But we were reading about Solomon dedicating the temple to God. It was a very long, arduous prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Very boring. Took a lot of time. We're not going to dwell on it all that much. One thing I noticed today in my studying about it was the theological, debate around whether God's promises are,
Nope.
if they're more like a contract and less like a promise, because when God said to David, your son will remain on the throne only if his descendants follow my decrees, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you read it like that, it really sounds like you do this, I do that, right? Mm-hmm. But God's supposed to love unconditionally, or your salvation is supposed to be so that.
What?
But okay, in the prayer,
Yeah.
Solomon says over and over, only if my descendants do this will you do this for me, right? So it's like a tit for tat.
Mm-hmm.
But I came across this in my reading today. It was on the Enduring Word commentary. Just so you can know what website's wrong if I'm wrong. The only if is actually a really bad translation of a Hebrew phrase, which should be better translated like to be certain that. If that makes any sense. So instead of only if Kyle's eyes are glazing over and he cares not at all about this. It's an interesting theological point, because if he says only if I do all these things, like my sons follow your decrees and we do all the prayers and all the shit and sacrifice all the goats.
He's not demanding, he's asking. Is that what you're saying the difference is?
No, the Bible. No one's asking God. Yeah, he's saying look it, my sons will do this and you will bless me. And that's just the way things are.
But didn't he bring it up? It's not like God was like, do this. And he was talking to him. He was like talking to God, telling him, I'm going to do this. And if I do that, you have to do this.
Yes.
Right?
So, but that's not, so that's what we're saying here
asking.
is a bad, no, it's a bad translation. It should be saying, instead of only if, it's like, be certain that my sons will follow your decrees, live your ways. Like, you have my word, we're going to do this stuff.
Yeah, okay. From the rules that I've gathered.
Yeah.
From my deep conversations with you.
Just an interesting theological note I thought of.
You could do that with the whole Bible, though, really.
What do you mean?
Turns out the translation of this really meant...
I guess you could, because we're dependent on the translators. But at some point, yeah, I mean, when
why don't they fix it now?
The New International Version is ubiquitous in North America. King James, I don't know what the fuck. I was going to say King James is bigger in Britain, but I'm not from there. I don't know what the fuck. I just imagine they like the older Bibles there.
From there to know that.
The old school, the King James Bible is the thee, thy, thou, hell, fire, and brimstone, like, and thus spake Moses, you know.
Yeah, because that's how those garbage mouth fucking idiots over there talk.
Yeah. Well, King James, you know what? You know why there's the King James Bible?
No.
Because he wanted to fucking divorce his wife. So I'm pretty sure it's that petty. And he was like, you know what? I'm sick of this whole fucking side of the religion. We're making a new thing where I can fucking divorce my wife. Fuck you. And he
really? That's the whole thing?
That's the whole thing.
Yeah. Why don't you just collect new wives and then shun that one in the corner or whatever?
Could you, I know, imagine caring. Imagine being the king and can't even divorce your wife.
Kill her.
Right?
Like, just honestly, do what every guy has done the rest of the book. I guess that's more noble.
Most kings actually aren't psychopaths. That's the ones we hear about because they're notable.
Disagree.
Okay. On what basis do you disagree, Kyle?
On the basis
as a guy that fucking reads a lot more than you about all this stuff, on what basis do you disagree? He just says shit, disagree.
Nice. Yeah, I do.
Fuck you. Okay, go ahead.
The basis that all power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Do you believe that or not?
That's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about, most kings being murdered
psychopaths. Do you believe
psychopaths.
it or not?
Fuck you and stay on point.
I am. Answer my question. It's relevant to the point.
No, because there are plenty of people that were power that weren't corrupted. So
don't agree. Disagree. All
the kings I'm talking about, all the ones that... How many kings went through their lives without killing one person? Many. Many.
It's as if that's the barrier for being a good leader.
That's all I said. Not good leader. Now what you do is you move the goalposts.
No.
You fucking take the original thing and then you move it over here. And now I'm defending a point I didn't start. No. The original point was most kings are not murderous psychopaths.
Most?
More than half.
No way.
Yes, that's why we write about the psycho ones. That's okay.
I mean, maybe they didn't kill them with their bare hands.
Or have other people kill them.
Absolutely
most
they
kings
did.
just live their fucking boring-ass normal lives.
Normal king lives, ruling over a population.
Normal lives.
Normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just go about it. Ruling over the peasants. They just go about their day.
I refuse to believe that most kings are just like off with his head.
The whole point of my original statement is even with good intentions, originally onset good intentions, it leads to evil. Almost every single time. Like
we could agree on that. The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
So I don't care what people started with. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I bet you Putin was a way better dude at the beginning.
He is.
And I don't think he's even the worst example of that. As far as dictator-like rulers go, historically he's not that bad.
I listened to one Lex Friedman podcast, and now I'm an expert on Putin. And Putin...
I always hear him reference it, but I never hear him talk about it directly.
I don't
listen to that.
There's a really, really good one with some Russian historian, and he talks about... He compares Putin and Stalin. It's fantastic.
Well, let's say Putin never killed anyone with his bare hands.
He has, for sure.
Doesn't matter. That's not my point. Let's say he hasn't. The amount of collateral deaths he has is insane.
Dude, easy. Why don't you just bring up Obama as like a way easier example?
I would.
Well, why do you start with Putin?
Because we were already on it.
Let's say Putin hasn't killed anybody. How about Obama hasn't killed anybody with his bare hands, but he's responsible for that?
I don't know that to be true.
I would think it's less likely for Barack
Bill,
Obama.
Dude?
Bill who?
What about William Clinton right there?
Oh, he's got blood on his hands. How many times do we have double headshot suicides?
The problem is it's
connected to one guy.
It's 12-year-old period blood though. That's the problem
What?
with Bill Clinton.
I know you've lost.
Is he on Pedo Island? He's a Pedo Island guy.
Yeah,
right?
but
you said he had blood on his hands, and my timing was bad.
Okay.
12-year-old period blood. Yeah.
I was talking about gunshot from the head. I'm like, I thought there was like some sort of extra scandal where there was like some girl's blood in the car. I was like, well, I didn't know this angle of the story. He's also a pedophile now.
It's just funny though, because if you're a ruler, you got to dictate your own history. So saying they were good people is not. You couldn't possibly know that. The only thing we can know,
I don't know either,
is every example of a long-time dictator.
Every example.
Name one that was good.
Oh no, you said a long-time dictator.
Yeah.
Julius Caesar was pretty good, but he killed a lot of people.
Killed a lot of people and wrote his own history.
Probably would have been a bad guy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing is,
like even the modern day ones. What is it? Taiwan that has a king still?
Thailand, the king of Thailand.
Thailand has a king, and they worship the fucking dude.
He had his wife embarrassed publicly recently, like last year.
Because he had a wife and a concubine.
Yeah.
And it was the concubine he embarrassed, I believe.
Yeah.
Because he just got a new one, and then she was, I guess, getting a little uppity, and he made her bow in front of him and like kiss his ring and shit.
Yeah, but it was like in front of the whole country.
But my whole point is, the whole country, if you ask them on an individual level, it's like North Korea level brainwashing where they love him, and he's objectively a bad person.
I don't understand how people fall for that.
It's conditioning since you're a child.
But
it's the singing the songs and worshiping the paintings. You have to have a painting in your house of King John Il.
Well, I had all that stuff happen to me, and I didn't fall for it.
Okay, luckily you were born in Canada, where you get a little more freedom of choice.
I guess you go through the motions because you're just like, yeah.
If you said any of that shit that you brought up to, instead of your parents, into a leader, you would have been beaten mercilessly in most of these countries, specifically Thailand and North Korea.
Yeah, that sucked.
And you wouldn't get the option to even think about it again, because you'd bring it up again. You wouldn't be able to discuss it with anybody because you'd get beaten. Maybe even killed. Who knows?
I'm glad we live now.
My point is, all these people, all these kings and longtime leaders and dictatorships, they paint their own history, acting like they've done good things.
Yeah, that's what this is.
There's aspects of good along the way, but mostly bad, I would argue.
But how many kings were like the king of one small town for like 15 years and really nothing happened in their lifetime? Like most of history is not at war. Most of history is just fucking living your life. I guess
if you get to
every generation has a war, but that's usually a couple years every 20 or 30 years.
Here's what I will argue. I think once you get to the point of where the people you're ruling are so small you know them all by name, you can probably be a fairly good leader compared to the other version. Because now you don't have any fucking faces to the names of the people you're killing. Yeah. You kill someone you know, everyone knows you did it, right? Yeah. Through negligence or your force, whatever, I think once you get to that point, you could probably be better at it.
I am a generous
like
God
the small
king.
town theory and there's less crime because everyone knows each other type of thing.
Yeah, I believe in that. All right, moving on. We are going to read today from Kings chapter 9. The Lord appears to Solomon. The Lord our God. Okay, so here we are. 1 Kings chapter 9. When Solomon had finished building the temple of the Lord and the royal palace, and had achieved all he had desired to do, the Lord appeared to him a second time, as he had appeared to him in Gibeon. The Lord said to him, how do you imagine the Lord appearing to him this time, Kyle?
In Gibeon? I'm thinking like Sunday paper cartoon thought bubbles.
Yeah.
But he's just looking up at it and it's God.
Dude, that'd be hilarious if it was like iPhone text bubbles and he's like, what is this sorcery? Like, it'll be funny in 3,000 years.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. So those text bubbles are appearing in the air from God, and right in front of Solomon.
Not text, though, but like the Sunday morning cartoons, if they have a thought, the image appears in a little thought bubble.
Oh, yeah. It's all animated in there.
Sometimes they break the fourth wall and look up at it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm imagining.
Yeah. Okay, so I've heard the prayer and the plea that you have made before me. I have consecrated the temple, which you have built, by putting my name there forever, capital N. My eyes and my heart will always be there.
What? God's eyes and heart.
God saying, "Hey, nice temple, dude. I'm going to live in the temple."
God has an eyes and heart.
Yeah.
What's his vision, you think?
We're made. God looks like us. When you get to heaven, God's a man because we're made in God's image.
Yeah.
That's how uncreative these fucking people were.
I'm just wondering why God has all the shitty guts.
God has a dick. God has a fucking.
Why does he have a? Does he have a functioning asshole? That's a real question.
I mean, we've discussed
Because
this.
does he eat God? Does he eat food he conjures up just so he can shit?
He talks about the sweet smelling aroma and the priests eating for God on his behalf.
Yeah, I understand that concept.
Well, yeah.
But if we are built in his,
yes.
the priests are okay. Here's what I'm
There's
saying.
God shit in heaven.
No, but I'm saying the priests are eating for him, but they're also shitting for him.
I don't know.
That I can understand. Up in heaven, when the priests are eating for him, he's not eating the fucking food we're making, right?
I think he would be. I think he would be. You know why? Because food is a pleasure here on earth, right? Everybody likes eating.
No, I'm not saying that.
What?
I get your point there. I'm saying on earth, when we're sacrificing food to him,
Yeah.
and the priests are eating it for him, he's not eating it,
No,
right?
that they digest it and he gets nutrients
He
from
does, but they also shit it out.
It's like, I would say, solar power.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I was
he just
thinking of.
absorbs it
Yes.
from them.
So for that to function, he doesn't need
He might shit.
intestines
God might shit.
or
Well,
a stomach or
we're made in God's image, so he would. We would be identical. He would have all the same
that
parts.
means while we're eating through him and he's absorbing the magic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
However he does it.
Yeah.
Right? He's also eating.
That's what I mean. That's why
He's eating up there with the food. He conjures it up.
I think that he would.
Unless we're enslaved up there.
I think that he would make food. I think there would be food in heaven, and I think God would eat because if you believe this nonsense, that's why God made food so good, because God likes his own food,
Yeah.
and then he had made food for us.
I get that. But isn't it weird to make us murder all those animals?
Yes, it is.
So they can eat them
But
here
he's God and he
when
does what
he's
he
eating up
wants.
there also.
He's God and he does what he wants, Kyle. I am a jealous God.
It's
and
like
if you-
dessert?
Yeah. I mean, that's what the fucking bread offering and wine
Oh,
offerings
I
are
think
for.
I get it.
The fruit
Okay,
offering.
I know God is whatever, the best. He can do anything he wants.
Yeah.
But you know how we're like, every city has a Chinatown,
Yeah.
right? You get Chinese food most of the places you go, even if you're not Chinese, right?
Okay.
God gets Earth food.
He likes
Sometimes
it.
like little Earth food. He goes to Earth Town, gets a little Earth food, then he goes back up and eats his regular God food.
That makes perfect sense, and it should be somewhere in this appendix.
Yeah. He also has like the weird, you know how there's like a nerve in our body. It's like what I always forget his fucking name. The one who talked about atheism a ton before he died.
Dawkins.
Thought at the same time. So Dawkins. This is what blew my mind because I never thought about evolution, or I didn't give a fuck about any of it until he started talking about it. And I was like, I've never considered any of this stuff. In fact, I didn't know if I was baptized. When I was on the road playing hockey at 17 or 18, and I had religious, but very nice, but religious a coach, and I lived with him for like a month. And they asked me what my parents' religion was, and I was like, I don't think we have one. Like, I literally didn't know.
Yeah.
Because they were acting like everyone has one. They're like, no, you have one.
Dude, that's how I used to be. I'm like, so, like, how's your prayer life? That was like a conversation I would talk about.
And I was like, how do I not know what my religion is? That's what I was thinking in my head. It's fucking weird to be asked that. And they're like, well, you must have been baptized. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. I didn't know what it meant. So I called my dad the next day, and I was like,
I baptized my face.
I was like, I asked him if I was baptized, and he went, what the fuck? No. I went, what do you mean? He's like, no, why the hell would we baptize you? And I was like, then that's when I realized, oh no, we're not religious.
Yeah.
One bit.
That's when I knew.
Then I started getting into like, once I discovered like a dig.com pre-Reddit rabbit hole with Dawkins, he started to make like, he has very specific examples that paint a very good picture. Like, if God created us, why would this nerve that needs to travel 2 inches from here to here in your heart?
Your
roughly-
appendix.
No, it's like there's this nerve
Okay, there's a nerve, yeah.
that only needs to travel like an inch
Yeah.
somewhere in your chest cavity, but it travels all the way up your neck and around and back down because there's a huge artery there. And he's like, that would only necessarily, and also giraffes, same thing. So giraffes have the same nerve, and it goes all the way up their giant giraffe neck, which was like, that's retarded. As like a person who's never thought about it before.
Efficiency-wise.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So it goes all the way up, the
Yeah.
same as us, and all the way back down. He's like, if someone was designing it, why the fuck would they do that? I was like, that's a good goddamn point. It's like only religion, when you need to go from here to here and we constantly got necks longer, did the necessity to go around the artery instead of killing them need to exist.
The modern Christian response is God made evolution. God hit the start button and then
But then does God look like a monkey? If God made evolution and he made
God
us,
looked like a monkey before. Now,
so God's evolving with us?
Well, no, that's
wild.
No, that's just my fucking off the cuff response to like if we're made in God's image, presumably he went through fucking monkey fucking God, right?
Then he's
Neanderthal God, even dumber than this God, fucking banging fucking rocks around.
If you go back
smashing
far
universes
enough,
together.
God was like some ocean weird snakefish thing with arms.
I absolutely love the final scene in Men in Black, the first one, where it just zooms out and zooms out and zooms out until it's like galaxies and galaxies in the whole universe, and then it's a marble, and then it's two giant fucking aliens playing with all kinds of marbles, and you're just like, whoa! And you really can't even fathom it.
Your brain can't.
It's a lost fucking cause to argue with it, but just to zoom back all the way back into Earth playing hockey on the street and what's your religion? I've been thinking about this so much about how there's most people they just want to know it work. I'm trying to say I don't know what I'm trying to say. How does religion work on everybody? Because they want to why am I here? What's going to happen? But they don't really want to think it through. So yeah,
that's the answer.
You ask it once when you're like however old and someone tells you, why am I here? Well, God put us here and he has a purpose and it works. And then good enough for me.
Because thinking about it sucks, by the way.
Well,
it makes you feel insignificant and worthless.
That's what I think about intensely.
Yeah.
Like me and my friends, my three 15-year-old best friends, we'd have hot tubs and we were like asking these questions amongst each other. Like thought we were like philosophers. We thought we were the smartest kids ever. Yeah. And I'm sure everybody does it. And we came to the logical conclusion that there is no purpose to life. Like either the Bible's true or there's no purpose to life. So the Bible must be true. That was
the conclusion you came to?
Well, that's what everyone in church
I get it.
Everyone has come to that conclusion.
Question. Yeah.
Because that's the only way you can actually stomach. It's the spoonful of sugar on top of the fucking shit sandwich.
That's the top layer of a question, though. The purpose is, why does the purpose of life? Why does there have to be a purpose?
Oh, sure. Fine, yeah.
Like you start asking that
deeper
question,
and deeper and deeper. But when you're first figuring shit out, when you're 15 and you're playing hockey, what's your religion? What do you mean?
It's way older than that. I was like 18,
whatever it is. But it doesn't matter. The point is, when you first ever consider these things, and the first person you ask is usually your parents or your friends, and they all believe the same thing, and they go, it's God, and you're here, and it's heaven, and it's great, and we're in the rules, and Christians saved the whole world. And because of the Bible, we spread the Bible and we spread literacy around the world. And actually, everything Christians have done is awesome. And it's great that you're in the club.
Oh, I forgot about this. So I might have said this before the podcast a long time ago, but I didn't have that conversation with my dad until later. So I called him up on the phone. I did ask him if I was baptized. He said no, but that was the whole thing. It wasn't like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? Because I remember I was in like a rabbit hole of watching Dawkins videos. And I had this whole epiphany of, holy shit, everyone's an idiot.
I had that same epiphany, but it took me like 5 years to admit it to myself.
Well, I never had. Here's what I was going to say. I had like a clean slate of never being brainwashed with anything.
So, just like, I'm open.
I wasn't directed in any direction my whole life to the point where I never even thought about it.
Give me your best pitch.
I never even thought about it. So I saw some obviously I had religion in my life in some aspect because my grandparents. Mm-hmm. So I knew of it, and they seemed like they didn't have their shit together. So I was like, all right, that's its own thing. But then I got just a logical base argument. Here's what they think, right? And then I actually went and looked up what they thought, right? Yeah. Which is wild.
And but the official line is obviously, like you're saying, wild. Mm-hmm. And then everybody has their own slight deviation. Like, well, this is their official thing, and I just kind of think this.
So I got like all fucking puffing my chest out. Fuck, I know. Yeah. Like I had this. Like this is. I thought this. When you're young, every new discovery, you think you're the first one to have it.
Oh,
right?
big time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I I think I might have been, I don't know what age this was, but I was living in my parents' basement either way. So it was before 21.
Eating his curds and whey.
And I went upstairs and just instigated an argument about religion with my parents until they admitted they were atheists. I did that for like 2 hours. I was like, no, you can't. What God do you believe in? And they, well, I'm spiritual. That's not an answer.
Yeah.
Spiritual towards what?
Yeah. Yeah.
What does that mean? What do you believe exists
See, but
beyond?
most people don't. It's weird how you can hold all those thoughts about yourself. I'm spiritual and I believe
It's not weird to me. I think
Okay, well,
it's brainwashing.
what is weird though is until you actually are forced to reckon with it, you think all of this stuff all that's going on in the background of your head. Yeah, I'm a spiritual guy that believes in something, and then not until you stormed upstairs with your Dawkins book and said, "Hey, answer these hard questions." People don't.
I didn't even read the
consider
book.
it.
I was just watching him. He did a presentation for something. It
Yeah.
was like pre-TED, and then I saw some debates.
It's irrelevant. My point
Yeah.
is, you got some ammunition.
Yeah,
and then,
exactly.
But it's funny how though most people can live their lives. This is kind of, I guess, what we're both talking about. That they can live their whole lives. Yeah, I'm a Christian. I go to church. I go to church on Sundays. I kind of believe the shit. All my friends go, and
It kind of, that moment, I remember.
or even if you don't go to church and you say you're a Christian, you just kind of believe it from afar.
Well, you're doing. I get why they.
And then
do
when
that,
something
but-
bad happens, you pray and you go, "Oh God, please let that fucking bus not be late today, because I'm gonna get." And then God answers prayer.
I think that moment in my life turned me into a contrarian because I remember the next thought I had, because I remember it was something to do with my granny.
Mm-hmm.
Had some conversation. I used to get all my knowledge. I used to, when people are older than you, start believing everything they say.
Yeah, they've been around.
Yeah. So I had all these, like I said, I understand the brainwashing thing because I had all these, like 12 years since I could start forming thoughts of stuff I was told were direct facts.
Well, I had a complete incorrect history of the world.
Yes.
That's why I got so into history.
That's what
was
I
like,
realized.
None of that shit you guys said happened.
None of it.
Or it happened vastly different than the way you said it
It's
did.
wild. And I remember I would go around repeating stuff I was told. And if someone disagreed with me, I'd get upset because like, no, I know the answer because that person that I revered is like, they have all the answers. Once you find out they don't, I literally started, every time I had a thought, or I would write it down or Google it, and it was wrong. Every time. Like, something I thought I knew that my granny told me.
It's hard to think of, but can you think of any examples?
It was so long ago.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but I remember getting in arguments with kids in like junior high or high school. It must have been junior high, which is so weird to not know if I was baptized later on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can get baptized. A lot of people get baptized as a baby.
Maybe that's what I didn't know.
I think Catholics do the baptism as a baby. They just pour a little bit of water on the head.
Okay.
Jews give you the full-on fucking baby dunk.
That's hilarious.
All right, back to the Bible. We've
But
read
I mean,
a paragraph.
it's weird to get that complete disillusionment. And to end this off, if that never happened, I never saw, I might have never considered any of that shit my whole life.
And you'd be almost better for it. I don't know. What do you think? You think it's better to be just completely a-religious? And I guess anyone who starts looking for answers starts looking where they come from. So, there's all those religions around the world, and then even locally, like if your neighbors are fucking Eckankar people, you might fall into Eckankarism. Like,
What the hell is that?
it's just some new agey thing. I remember I used to prank phone call them because they had a billboard, the Eckankar, the religion of love, and then you could phone them and they'd try and get your money, and I would ask them if it was okay to have sex with animals and if their religion shunned on like beating women and stuff. It was
Did it?
Oh yeah, they did.
They're reasonable people.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just what we did for fun. When you're homeschooled, man, you got to make your own fun.
Yeah, murdering animals, torturing people.
All right. I'll just restart. So Solomon built that temple. The Lord's talking now. He says, "I've heard your prayer and your plea. You have made before me. I have consecrated this temple which you have built by putting my name there forever. My eyes and my heart will always be there. As for you, if you walk," see, this is how we got sidetracked. If you walk before me, it's supposed to say, "Be certain to walk before me," is a better translation according to that guy. I look at Kyle. Kyle looks like I'm like speaking Chinese. He like looks right through me like, what do I care about this?
I'm literally just thinking about different stuff.
I know. He just does. He just doesn't care. Then just blurts out. All right.
Well, I care. It's just that if or they is such an insignificant
Well, if
transition in the entirety of this book that we've read so far.
Then God's grace comes into question. Then God becomes this like if we do what God says, then He blesses us. But really, it's supposed to be. It's not up to us. God does what He wants. But prayer works also.
Mm-hmm.
Square those.
I guess it's like begging.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't affect it at all, but it does. But who knows? But God has a plan. But you can change His mind.
If you pray enough, He'll take
He knows
pity on you.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Maybe praying is part of His plan.
That's what people say. Then it would be. Then I can fuck up His plan by not praying. No. That's why you have to pray.
Yeah. You also have no control whether you're praying or not.
As for you, if you walk before me in integrity of heart and uprightness, as David your father did, and do all I command and observe my decrees and laws, I will establish your royal throne over Israel forever, as I promised David your father when I said, you shall never fail to have a man on the throne of Israel.
Yada, yada, yada. If you do what I say, you'll get infinite wealth, and you'll have tons of kids, and everything will go well, as long as you do what I say. And then inevitably they don't.
Yeah.
One person doesn't do what they say. Everyone gets punished. Rinse, repeat. This time, if you guys do everything I say, blah, 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 10 generations. The book's over now.
That you just described that much of the book, Kyle.
Great. Really looking forward to hearing it 1,000 more times.
Okay, but hang on. They do it in different ways every time, and it's quite spectacular. They throw people in furnaces. They feed people to lions.
Really?
Elijah's going to cut some...
I forgot they're in the desert.
Some wild dogs up. They're going to feed Queen Jezebel to wild dogs in about 5 episodes.
Oh, the guy that sold me my phone, by the way?
Yeah.
From fucking Palestine.
Yeah?
Isn't that wild? I didn't know you could leave. No, we were even talking about it because it's not designated an official country. It's not recognized by any other countries in the world.
That is
so you don't get a passport.
That is the funniest. Just the way you said that, though.
I didn't think you could. I thought it was like not sovereign nation. What's it called when you have like no leadership or? Because to be a country, correct me if I'm wrong, all you have to do is have other countries recognize that you exist. That's it, right?
Yeah.
And once no one does, you're kind of fucked.
There's sometimes those countries that like are recognized, like we all recognize this one country, and the other countries are like, fuck you, we don't recognize them. There's like Ukraine and Czechoslovakia and all that shit had that going on for a while.
Fucking, I really want to ask him what he thought about Jews, but I thought against it.
Good, Kyle.
He's a nice dude. He might have had something not terrible to say.
What the fuck? Why would you leave with that? You're from Palestine, so Jews, yay or nay?
Well, honestly, wouldn't you like to hear? Wouldn't you like for me to have an answer to that right now?
Yeah, but also...
Yeah, social rules dictate I don't ask, so I didn't. But did I really want to know? Yes.
I feel like that's more like second or third phone repair type of situation, Kyle. Once you're like, I'm back again, fucking Jews broke my phone, feel them out.
Dude, it took like an hour. I got like the dude's whole story.
Okay, well maybe you could have next time.
How do you feel about the J Dogs, dude?
The Jade. So, but if you or your sons turn away from me and do not observe my decrees, see, this is where you just totally guessed the next part. Not observe my decrees I have given you, and go off to serve other gods and worship them. I will cut off Israel from the land I have given them, and I will reject this temple I have consecrated for my name, Israel, and then become a byword. Whoa. Israel become a byword and an object of ridicule among the peoples.
What's a byword?
A swear word, a cuss word. Listen to this. This is God talking to Solomon.
He's threatening to turn their people's name into obscenities.
I will cut off Israel from the land I have given them. I will reject this temple I have consecrated for my name. Israel will then become a byword and an object of ridicule among all the peoples.
All right.
That came true.
I was just going to say. Hard J.
Israel.
Capital J, hard R.
What? Jewelry?
That doesn't matter what it is.
Are you just saying letters?
Yeah, yes.
By the way, I just think we should explicitly say for once that we're pro-Jews. I just like to have it on the record.
First of all, I'm not pro or anti anybody.
Fine. Yeah, fair enough. We're just not racist. We're just talking about it. I feel like Kyle comes in there with the hard R's just out of nowhere so often that it's like, what are we doing here?
I don't think so, but all right.
Israel will then become a byword and object of ridicule among all the peoples.
Here's the thing. It's such a weird question to ask. What do you think about the Jews? Because my first question would be, all of them?
Yeah. Well,
what do I think about all of them? I don't know.
That is a weird question.
You ask me what I think about Israel, it could narrow it down a little bit.
If you, like, are you talking about as if you were the Palestinian phone repair guy? Or are you talking about if I just
I'm talking about if you kind of just ask me that right now.
I mean, I don't...
You said, for the record, say what...
For the record, we're pro-Jews.
Are we?
I mean, I don't know.
In what sense are you pro-Jews?
Okay, fine.
What I'm asking, because I don't even know what the fuck that means.
I just meant...
I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just saying I don't know what you mean.
All I meant was not racist then. That's all I meant.
Well, that's such a weird thing to just say then.
You just say it's
hey,
like...
by the way, everyone, I'm not racist, says the probably racist guy.
I'm not racist. Why would you say that I'm probably racist?
No, I'm not saying you're probably racist. I'm saying people that outwardly say...
Well, if we consistently bring up the J's and the N's and all that the fucking time, I would think that if someone listened to us who didn't know us would be like, these guys might have some opinions on the J's.
I'm confused about what you think that I said was racist.
No, it's the constant bringing up race all the time. That's what racists do. They attribute things to race.
First of all,
they bring up race. They insert race when race doesn't need to be inserted.
Irrelevant from being a race, which I guess they kind of are because they inbred.
We're talking about racism or prejudice or whatever you want to talk about.
We're talking about Jews because it's in the Bible, dude.
It's all the time. But it's always brought up like with a because there is a thing called anti-Semitism when we like to dance by the line.
I love dancing by lines.
Exactly is what you like to do.
But here's the thing.
So I explicitly said that that's the line.
Here's the thing. Capital J hard R was just a reference to your description of last podcast.
I know that. But it's the constant fucking like
what?
Just the bringing up of race, inserting race all the time into the thing.
I don't even know how that's a race.
People would say that's a race.
I know.
Why are we arguing about semantics? This is about anti-Semitism, not anti-semantics.
Semantic-ism. Anti-semantic-ism. There we go. Title of the podcast.
The second you attack Kyle, he fucking moves the argument.
I'm not moving it at all.
He goes, no, I don't. Hang on. We're not. What does pro-Jew mean?
You asking?
What is Jew a race? And then now we're not. Now we're doing all that. All I wanted to say.
You won't let me clarify your statements. You don't let me ask questions, forcing you to clarify your statements because you can't.
Because you fucking...
Because you can't, that's why.
I just answered all your questions.
What do you like about the Jews?
Then I said, it's nothing about the Jews. I just don't like talking about race all the time.
Well, then that's how we got here. So you changed the goalpost then. You did.
Do you see... Everybody listening to this, I refuse to be manipulated. You guys all heard what just happened, and we'll leave it there.
I don't think I'm doing anything of the sort.
Yeah, by the end of it, and then I moved the goalpost. Like this is
you did.
Fuck you. We're moving on. Then I will cut off.
Ask me what I like about the Jews.
Then I will cut off Israel from the land I have given them.
I can actually give you an answer.
And I will reject this temple I have consecrated for my name. Israel will then become a byword and an object of ridicule among all peoples. And though this temple is now imposing, all who pass by will be appalled and scoff and say, "Why has the Lord done such a thing to this land, to his temple?" The people will answer, "Because they have forsaken the Lord their God, who brought their fathers out of Egypt, and have embraced other gods, worshiping them and serving them. That is why the Lord brought all this disaster on them."
So when God was going to turn their people into a swear word, was it going to be Israelites at the time of this? Or is that translated through the years?
I think that's just saying,
I'm saying, is Israelite a direct translation from Hebrew?
I think that means exactly what you think it means. I think it's like when you're like a nation that used to be great.
Yeah, so it'll no longer mean, like it would just be like a failed piece of shit would be an Israelite.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you, an Israelite?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. It would be exactly that. Solomon's other activities.
I mean, they kind of.
That's what I mean. That's how we got. That's what I was like. I just want to say I don't actually think that, and then we got into the thing.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the difference I would say in this direct. If you say Jews like a modern day They both mean the same thing, Israelite and Jew.
Yeah.
But I think when you say Israelite, everyone assumes biblical.
Well, there's religious Jews too. There's like Jews that live in New
no,
York.
I understand. I'm just saying, when anyone says Israelite, no one thinks of a modern day person. In my mind,
Israelis, I think, is what they go by now, and I think they do. I think they all would call themselves Israeli. Everyone over there referred to themselves as Israeli.
Yeah, but Israelite, that's still.
I don't think they go by Israelite.
That's
Israeli.
what I mean. It's like an old word to describe these specific people, even though they're descendants of them, it's like it describes this specific time. What I'm trying to say is, at the beginning of the Bible, they were called, the fuck were they called? They changed their name twice.
The sons of Abraham?
Yeah, or whatever. You get what I'm saying? If you said that, it would mean the same lineage of people, but you're thinking of a specific time. That's what I'm saying about Israelite.
That it's just, like, it's the N-word of the
I don't know what happens next. I don't know
BCE.
how long they call them Israelites. In this Bible?
To today. Israeli is short for Israelite.
Yeah, no, but they didn't even have their fucking... Israel wasn't even a country.
Yeah, until the 50s.
Yeah, so there's no way they were still calling them Israelites, right? There was no Israel.
They went by Jews.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Okay. So
I don't know my secondary point was. I don't remember anymore.
Well, we got to the bottom of that. They were known... Yes.
I'm just saying Israelite...
For 3,000 years, they called themselves Jews. I don't know if they would call themselves Israelis in the meantime. They probably called themselves Israeli for a couple hundred years.
What were they before Israelites in the Bible?
I don't think they would. I think
God changed their name.
Well, Jacob was a person, right?
Yeah.
And he changed his name to Israel, and he had 12 sons, and then they were the sons of Israel, the Israelites.
So is Jacob.
Yeah. But they never went by the Jacobs.
The Jacobites?
The Jacobins were from the French Revolution.
I don't even know what the hell that means.
They were the people that cut the heads off all the royalty.
Unrelated to the J-Dogs one bit?
I don't think so. I think that I have no idea. I'm already over my head. I just start answering questions when you ask me. That's what's so frustrating is you ask me questions and I feel obligated to answer.
I don't know them.
All right. All right, so we won't get to hear about Solomon's other activities.
We can go a little longer.
You got to hear
We didn't
this.
do a lot of Bible reading. So
okay, at the end of 20 years, during which Solomon built these two buildings and the temple of the Lord. Dude, I've built like fucking in like 5 years
from scratch, though, dude.
I mean, yeah, foundations, and we didn't finish them, and they weren't giant temples. I'll give it to him. All right, 20 years Solomon built those temples with at the end of 20 years, during which Solomon built these two temples, the temple of the Lord and the royal palace. King Solomon gave 20 towns in Galilee to Hiram, king of Tyre, because Hiram had supplied him with all the cedar and pine and gold he wanted. But when Hiram went to Tyre to see it's Tyre. But when Hiram went to Tyre to see towns that Solomon had given him, he was not pleased with them. "What kind of towns are these you have given me, my brother?" he asked. And he called
These
them...
be shit towns.
Yeah. He got like the fucking trailer park of Israel, I guess. And he asked,
and everyone knows Caleb hates people in trailers.
And he said, and he called them the land of Kabul, a name they have to this day. Now Hiram sent the king 120 talents of gold. That is 4.5 tons or 4 metric tons of gold.
Wow.
I want to know if that's even feasible that they had that much.
No, they didn't.
Then at that time.
No, there's no way.
Well, that's how much gold he had.
Isn't all the gold in the world fill up an Olympic-sized swimming pool?
Please fact check that on your phone right now. I want to know.
It does. It is. And we, producer Young T, can you phone check
total
that?
Gold supply?
I believe
in metric tons.
Google swimming pool also, because I'm pretty sure all the gold in the world that we've ever mined, that we've brought out of the ground, fits in an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
I'll just keep reading, and you can notify me when you find it.
Gold is dense and heavy, though, so it's a lot.
Here is the account of the forced labor, King Solomon. I like again forced labor, not slaves. Here's the account of the forced labor.
They really changed that. Was that a bad word back then? Even
I don't know.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Is that whitewash for today's us? You know.
It might be the new international.
I'm
Bible.
betting that there is the exact same word being used when this was written as slaves earlier on. As forced laborers now, but
they enslaved.
But they want to condition you into thinking. I don't know if it's that well thought out, but I'm betting that things are getting better, right?
No,
throughout the book. No,
about 4 Olympic swimming pools.
Okay, but in weight,
192
metric tons.
Yeah. thousand.
So 192,000 metric tons.
Well, tons.
192,000 tons, so 192 metric tons.
Metric ton is more.
So I just want to know if they had like 2% of the gold on the earth there where Solomon is. Is that what the Bible's saying?
I don't know, dude. I mean, it's obviously not true. If we're going to get to it, it's not true. Like, most of the gold is mined in the gold rush, right? Isn't that where most of that didn't exist back then? So
I mean, it's just,
I'm pretty sure it was all in caves still.
It's just, I mean, you got to point out the fucking obvious ones when they're obvious.
Like, back then, they're getting gold if it, like, isn't washed up in a river.
Yeah.
They're not mining yet.
Yeah,
so
they
it's
would just
all
pick it up
river
off the
gold.
ground.
It's all river gold.
Yeah.
They might have had a lot of it in the Nile or whatever. I don't fucking know.
They have bronze. I don't know if they've mentioned copper yet.
I would blow my mind if they were gold mining. Like, what tools did they even have at this point?
I mean, now we're getting way over our heads. All right, verse 15. Here is the account of the forced labor King Solomon conscripted to build the Lord's temple, his own palace, the supporting terraces, the wall of Jerusalem, and Hazor, Megiddo, and Gezer. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, had attacked and captured Gezer. He had set it on fire. He killed its Canaanite inhabitants, and he gave it as a wedding gift to his daughter Solomon's wife. And Solomon rebuilt Gezer. Man, what a fucking wedding present! I enslaved an entire people for you. Or
that's pretty dope.
No. No, that was from the king of Egypt.
Just the kings trading their own people like they're pawns.
Yeah, he's trading the daughter, and he's like, listen, I'll sell you my daughter and this whole group of people that we've just recently enslaved.
Sounds like a monopoly trade. I just got Park Place,
yeah.
But I'm looking
It's a symbiotic relationship. I got 4.5 tons of gold over here.
I was just thinking about the fact that still happens today, where countries just change their borders, usually through force. And I don't think people are trading it anymore. But
the Alaska Purchase or Louisiana Purchase.
No, even just like the fucking Soviet Union era, where like entire countries don't exist after whatever the negotiations they made. So you can be living somewhere, and there's just the heads of these territories dividing your lines, and you get no say.
Yeah, it goes. The property line goes right through the middle of your fucking house.
Right?
Hey, I currently live here.
Yeah. Turns out you're in. By the way, you used to live in Yugoslavia. Now it's whatever.
Yeah, you used to live in Megiddo, but now it's
doesn't
Gezer.
list anymore, right? Doesn't exist anymore.
I have no idea.
One of those fucking places.
So he gave that so that's the gift. He built up. This is Solomon. Solomon built up Beth Horon, Balath, Tadmor in the desert within the land, as well as his store cities and his towns for his chariots and for his horses. Whatever he desired to build in Jerusalem, in Lebanon, and throughout all the territory, he ruled.
I wonder if it's just a mistypo.
What?
I built up Beth Horon, Balath, and a tad more. Like a little bit more.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
And all the people left from the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. These people were not Israelites. That is, their descendants remaining in the land, whom the Israelites could not exterminate. These Solomon conscripted for his slave labor force. Sorry. And then there's a little note that where exterminate, it says F. The Hebrew term refers to the irrevocable of giving over things to the Lord. So often by totally destroying them.
Mm-hmm.
So
totally destroying people for the Lord.
Yeah. And all the ones they couldn't kill, they made slaves.
Mm-hmm.
As the Lord wanted.
And is totally destroying just burning, effectively? Is that the...
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can't really totally destroy something.
It's burning. That's what they would do. It's the same word that they use for burning sacrifice.
Yeah.
The irrevocable. Yeah. It's like mostly burning, but it could be.
Is that concept kind of funny back then that they probably thought if you burn it, it's gone. It's disappearing.
God took it.
But it's just a transfer of energy.
Well, they'd see the smoke
now.
going to heaven, and that would be their sacrifice working. They're like, look, you see, God's taking it. And that's, I mean, before you know anything, that makes sense to me.
You're not really of course. But you're just changing it.
Yeah.
You're not destroying anything.
You're
destroying it as a concept that you understand at the time, I guess.
Solomon conscripted all those he could not exterminate. These Solomon conscripted for his slave labor force, as it is to this day. But Solomon did not make slaves of any of the Israelites. They were his fighting men.
Oh, what a nice dude.
His government officials, his officers, his captains, and commanders of his chariots and charioteers. They were also chief officials in charge of Solomon's projects, 550 officials supervising the men who did the work. After Pharaoh's daughter had come up from the city of David to the palace Solomon had built for her.
I don't really understand why would Solomon treat the Jews poorly in the first place? Israelites.
Well,
Whatever.
many kings enslaved their own population.
Yeah, but they're just adding that he didn't do that?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
like, look at this.
Oh, by the way, I didn't enslave my own people. But I did put them in charge of enslaving other people.
Yeah, which is probably a great progressive gesture for its time. Like that was like the Israelites are to be a free citizen. I think there was like a pretty clear dichotomy of like you were property or you owned property. I know that in Roman times slaves could have slaves, but I don't think in Israel times. I think you were like a slave.
Slaves could have slaves?
Oh yeah, slaves. There would be like a.
It's hilarious. You're just a slave manager at a certain point. You've worked your way up.
Yeah, lots of slaves would like work their way up and own the whole business, and then buy their freedom and buy the business.
It
Cato
hardly even sounds like slavery if that's possible.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess
it's
it
like-
is. It
well, you
obviously
could
is.
beat them and you could brand
Yeah,
them.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cato made his living like teaching people to read and write. He's basically flipping slaves. He buys an illiterate slave, teaches him to read and write, sells them for a bunch of money.
And that's capitalism at its finest. Did he not make those slaves better?
And then the slaves
More
who learned
valuable.
to read and write, right? They made better. They got wages because they got paid, and they would hire their own
And
slaves.
they had the chance of getting their own slaves.
Yeah, and then they would get slaves, and then they would hire out their slaves to other people. Like you could.
Where would we be without slave capitalism?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You could be a slave that owned a slave. So while you're slaving for this guy, you got a slave.
What you're
working-
saying is slaves are a publicly traded commodity.
Yeah, but
And you can buy yourself.
You could contract them out. Like you wouldn't be like the slave who just worked for you. You could have a slave like working at your friend's house.
Yeah.
Like running in the crew of maybe his own slaves. Who knows?
It's gonna happen to us when the fucking robots take over.
What? Wage slavery? I don't know. It's some people. I've heard the argument for it. I don't fully agree, but there's definitely some parallels.
Wage slavery?
Today we're still slaves. We just get paid, and because the argument is that.
Well, you are free. Go live in the woods and eat shit.
Yeah.
Eat whatever you can find. Go do that.
So that's the argument is that I have to have a job. So it's basically I'm forced to do this. It's for people who just fucking don't want to accept that they're just shitty people.
It's ridiculous though, because here's the thing. Back in the day, there's a certain point in time where you could only make as much food as you could eat, right? Mm-hmm. And then once you started making extra, people could do other things. Now it's so easy to do everything. You can do whatever you want, and people go wage slavery now. And instead of just giving me food, you're making me work.
Well,
and then I take this money and I have to buy it. Then I want to be like, okay, spend your whole life farming then. Those are your options.
Yeah.
Like literally, those are your options.
They're saying they want to live in society, but they don't want to have to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't get to do that.
Well, homeless people figured it out.
Well,
Or-
I don't know if they're really.
Unemployed people then figured it out. I figured it out.
Well, we're in a country where we have unemployment benefits to try and prop those people up, but that's good. I don't think it's a bad thing, but
moving on.
it's altruism on the part of the rest of the country. It's not. Those people aren't winning.
No.
We're just like we feel bad for you because your life sucks. Here's a little bit to try and turn it around, and it doesn't even really work.
In the socialist countries that I've been to,
Yeah.
Sweden, I had I think like 2 homeless people in all of Gothenburg. I
It's
saw.
a really, really small country, though.
Yeah, but they have a way better attitude. Everybody wants to be a good citizen, so like they don't want to be like no one. It's really shameful to be the alcoholic outside the liquor store because there's like one in a town, right?
Yeah, it's a small town thing again.
Yeah, but. Yeah, small town thing, and just general like
Well,
Gothenburg isn't a small
Well,
town.
you have a name and a personality and a face.
There's that, but they're also just like they believe in being a good citizen. Like I want to be productive. I want to.
We used to call that national pride, which
Yeah.
you're not allowed to have anymore in North America.
Well, it's more of just it should be a good human citizen, not a good Canadian or a good Swede or a good.
Why?
anything.
There's different values in every country.
Fair enough, but
What's wrong with thinking the values, at least most of them, or whichever ones you do like, are good?
Nothing's wrong with that. The problem starts to think when yours are the only way or a better way than someone else's.
I mean, there is one better. One country is doing it the best, probably.
Sometimes, yeah.
Probably.
I mean,
I'm not going to pick it.
in every metric,
I'm not going to pick it. But there's if you could quantify it, there's probably a winner and there's probably a loser.
Okay, but what the reason
it's imposing it forcefully is your problem, right? That would be my problem.
I have no problem. I'm saying the public's the fucking perceived problem with nationalism. I just tried to take the opposite side of that coin.
Okay.
Is when it gets out of control, it starts with USA, and it ends with fucking nuclear bombs. You know, that's the quick and dirty side of fascism. That's what Germany was doing. They just got real stoked on Germany, and they wanted the whole world to be German.
Those things are
those
things are related, but I don't think they're correlated. I don't think it's causation. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think one leads to another, but I think one does come with authoritarianism.
National pride comes real close though to thinking you're better than other people.
Without scrutiny is the problem.
Yeah.
If you just go, we're better and the only reason why is not because not the values we've done. It's because we exist here and you exist over there.
Because God made us that way. No,
yeah,
but that's a lot of what it used to be.
That's a good point.
Most of the time. And then it was because God made us better, we deserve to take your stuff.
Do you know there's a lot more religious... What if you had to guess the percentage of... I think we talked about on the podcast, but I looked it up. The percentage of religious people... Or let's go with the people that say they don't believe in a God in Canada. What would you think it was?
50. So the percentage
people that say they don't believe in a God.
So staunch atheists?
No.
Or
just the people that don't subscribe to a religion.
Like 30%.
Yeah. Fuck, I thought it was way higher.
No, everybody believes in something.
70%
Everybody believes in something, man.
No, that includes the people that say they don't know, really.
Okay.
So the people that subscribe to a specific religion is 70% in Canada.
I know.
I thought we were closer to Australia.
No, it's stupid high here.
They're like 90%.
It's really high in the United States too.
Oh yeah, it's way higher.
Yeah. So that's why we're doing this podcast. We're almost done. 3 times a year, Solomon.
We're almost done.
Well, I got like this much to read.
Yeah, we can read it, dude.
3 times a year, Solomon sacrificed burnt offerings and fellowship offerings on the altar he had built up for the Lord, burning incense before the Lord along with them, and so fulfilled the temple obligations. King Solomon also built up ships at the Ezion Geber, which is near Elath in Edom on the shore of the Red Sea. I've been there. It's blue. And Hiram sent his men...
Is the dirt red at least?
No.
So it's not even like PEI?
I've never been to PEI.
Red dirt is weird to see for the first time.
Red dirt.
Yeah, Prince Edward Island's all red. And you hear it and you go, oh yeah, maybe it's a little red.
Yeah.
No, it's fucking like bright red.
No,
not bright red, it's dark red.
It's pretty like sandy desert or like rocky sandy desert. Not like dunes of sand, like rocky desert with like dust.
Maybe it was the Red Sea because that was the line where just outside of town was where all the women had to go once a week.
Maybe.
Once a month.
King Solomon also built the Red Sea, and Hiram and sent his men and sailors who knew the sea. I got it, yeah.
Thanks.
To serve in the fleet with Solomon's men. They sailed to Ophir and brought back 420 talents of gold. That is about 16 tons or 14.5 metric tons.
If Caleb was giving it, it'd be untalents of gold.
Which they delivered. So he's got... If there's 192, based on our math from before, if there's 192 metric tons in the world, and he's got 20 metric tons, he's got fucking almost 10% of the world's gold in fucking Israel.
192,000
metric tons.
Kilograms? Pounds? You have to say a unit at the end of that sentence there.
I don't know what metric tons is, because you said 192,000.
Metric tons is 1,000 kilograms, and a ton is 2,000 pounds.
Okay.
So it's different. Kilograms, 2.2 pounds.
What's a metric fuck ton?
Because
that's how much fucking cheeseburgers I'm gonna get on the way home.
A metric fuck ton?
No, I'm not.
So when you heat them at the microwave when you get home and
no, I just eat them.
Miss
in
your
the car.
girlfriend.
I just eat them in the car.
What are you looking up?
So there's about 180,000 metric tons.
180,000 metric tons of gold. So it's really, it could be, it's not that. Is it that far fetched? It still seems pretty far fetched.
To be honest, how much gold they had?
Well, I don't want to hang my hat on that argument, but I thought it was a lot more than before. That seems, I don't know. Do you think they could have that much? Moving on. Did you learn anything today, Kyle?
Yep. I learned Caleb does not like the Jews, like you've heard earlier today. Specifically stated, when asked, quote, when asked if you like the Jews, Caleb deflected the question. Let that show on record. When asked, Caleb deflected the question. You asked me what I learned. That's what I learned. Go on.
What's the next segment? What do we do after that?
That's it.
Emails. Did we get any emails?
No.
No emails.
No emails, dude.
All right. Dead air. And the podcast.
Check out CanadaComedy.ca for all the links to this podcast and others on the network, whenever they fucking end up there. Our email's on there.
Did you post an Instagram of those pic of those girls' truck and
No, but I will, sure.
just to prove we weren't lying?
Can I show a picture of you can't really see it.
No.
No?
No, they have to that's on the Patreon.
Okay. Well,
We got to put a paywall in front of that shit. You can see it, watch it on fucking Pornhub if you really want to.
you want to ask me to sign off what I like about the Jews?
Sure.
Their fiscal responsibility.
That's good.
I'll be your savior in the streets. We'll break under the sheets, kneel down and witness this immaculate erection, baby.